There we go. Okay. Wow. Whew. Hello, everyone. Welcome to, first of all, Happy New Year of 2023. Hope you all are still safe and sound, yada, yada, yada. And welcome to the actual first session of 2023 into the Wildlands, session 87. Woo! I didn't think we would survive this long, but my players have proven me wrong. Anyway, to do a quick little light recap, the players have are fading hearts. They have dealt with one of the higher ups of the Red Fox gang and realized that he was not what his physical form appeared to be. A little skirmish here and there, and a failed attempt to body snatch a NPC that is not what he appears to be. They killed Maron, the body snatcher of the Red Fox, and put him in a jar after learning a little bit of interesting information from his soul. The group began to make their way during the journey. Tyranian and Arizel managed to get themselves some tattoos from their mermaid friend Azula. Zola. Wow, I'm getting some names mixed up here. I'm not even drinking yet. The party discussed their plans on how to enter Rashakan. So they divide themselves into two parties. The first one was Oberina Mavis with uh Arizel, Binge, to go speak with a certain Mariam Lasserine, the possibility, well, definite proof of Oberina's long lost mother and the one of the three powers that rules Rashakan. While the remaining group, Syndra, Tyrion, Kermit, and everybody else that follows along in that one, go to bring back Thea to Lord Ludwig, who is the head honcho, or at least the military power of Rashakan. In that time, they met a very annoying guard captain who clearly shows his dislike for non-humans, but kept his tongue pretty much firmly in his mouth when addressed by his non-human superiors. Oberina's mother literally went with her own guard to pick her up, and a certain individual has a very familiar albino coloring went to pick up Syndra, Tiernan, and the others that came for Ludwig's group, to which was revealed that Fia is more than just simply a consort of the sorts, or courtesan. So let us open up right now to Into the Wildlands, which, just to let you all know, two of our players will not be available, but hopefully their roles, we will touch upon that on another session. Now, Oberina, during the time that you are being escorted to the Crimson Manor, your mother is chatting up a storm. How attentive are you with her conversation or engaging her in conversation?
Um, I'd probably, if it's like something information that I can glean or something, I I'd say like probably mildly because she has decent information. As long as it's like not her complaining about how this place sucks or anything of the like. Then I'll kind
Yeah.
of like just listen in.
Well, it's mostly minor detail stuff. She's actually asking you a lot of not really pressing questions, but more of like mundane questions of, I this is new for me since, well, my anger towards your father, but have you eaten well? I mean, why are you here? And I mean, you're taking care of yourself, right? And she looks over to Mavis and Arizel. They are currently taking in interesting friends. Then she looks at Binge. Interesting company.
I- If it, I'm taking well care of myself, thank you. I had actually originally had come here to look for inspiration for music.
Hmm. You taken the musical arts. Interesting.
Yes, it was something that I had picked up, gotten away from home, though. Over the past few years, it wasn't all that great. Certain problems. Uh, One thing while we're just making small talk and the like, how long has it been since you've last seen me?
You see very clearly like she looks distraught, almost like nervous to answer. About 3 centuries, roughly.
Oh, hmm,
It's difficult considering that planar travel is time tends to be very
irrelevant.
lucid. Yes,
Yes, I have some temporal studies, not everything, but had taken some interest in the aspect of it.
I see.
Another, sorry, another thing that I was curious on is you seem to have kinship with well, you call her Dina, we call her Mavis. What exactly happened there, or
Ah, right. I understand. She looks over to Mavis. I do apologize. I know you are calling yourself Mavis, but to me you are still Dina. Ah, one could say that I grew up with Akra. She is, I suppose, if one were to look at it, my older adoptive sister. Your grandmother, my mother, adopted Akra, or at least to teach her the ways of being a immortal.
huh?
And as you can see, I sort of see her as my older sister.
See, well, one other thing, I'm. Do you know the Centura family at all? Considering,
Again, she
The
looks over
new
to
hot
Mavis'
ranch?
direction, and she just adds, "Honey, I understand you have your part of family is a sub-family branch and not involved with them. Uh, how to say this? Our, well, my relation to that particular family is malignant, malign, catastrophic at best.
wait, why?
They were the ones that summoned me to, I believe they call that World Toriel. Yes, I think it was that. But my stay there was very brief as well. They were planning to, let us just say they thought it was a good idea to summon our kind to use as potential sacrifices, enemies to their unseen masters.
Wait. They're the reason that the cult of this, or they were trying to use our kind as sacrifices for.
And that could roll too.
She gives you a bit of an analytical look, which was not there before. I am impressed that you are healthy. Our kind tends to feed upon, well, we are more or less natural enemies to creatures of the far realms, the far space. since we are not really affected by the mental capacities and the aberrant horrors that they tend to use. Sadly, I was only there for about a minute, maybe less, as they immediately realized the error of their ways and promptly banished me out of Toril.
Huh.
Honestly, if usually when I'm in a new plane of existence, I tend to try to see if I can find some traces of you or perhaps your father. But I went in there and I went in there swinging and was sent out swinging.
I see.
So afterwards, I was traveling to other planes of reality trying to find you. I had no luck, and then about a century, give or take or so, I lost complete contact with my older sister, Aqua. And around that time, I'd also made a pact or a deal with a very powerful red dragon.
It won't happen to be Inferno, would it?
Yes, Invenatio. But it was of mutual benefit since he was curious about his magic, his sorcery working in the outer realms, and I had knowledge of it. He demanded that, which I, after some dispute, requested a little bit of aid to possibly find my child, you, which of course he gladly agreed to. My role as he in kind of she kind of looks around, and I'm just gonna roll this for her because it is very obvious she is looking around. And she does not. Where did that +3 come from? Okay, where the heck is that guidance? I'm pretty sure I deleted all of them.
Sometimes they're just hiding there. I don't know
It
how
might
they
be.
do.
Yeah, well, it's 22, so it's clear she's looking around. He requested that I keep the power balance in check in this city, that he wished for all the riches and nobles to gather. He knows full well that I'm not too keen on the riches, just wanting to find you, which, in a weird sense, he has failed his end of the bargain. I'll have to renegotiate.
Hmm. I mean, technically speaking, he did employ the other party, so in a way, it's a roundabout way, but he still upheld it.
You clearly see that she has a look of like, ugh. Please don't take his side. Look on her face.
I'm not trying to, but he might use that against you.
I suppose dragons tend to be greedy bunches.
Uh, Another thing, since you had mentioned you traveled many different planar places, and this has been on my mind as of late. Uh, are you familiar with the Titan of the End at all?
She pauses mid walking and just stands still, looks right at you. Where did you hear that title?
Let's just say that I am the living embodiment of that. No. And she's kind of saying it with like gritted teeth.
Hold still, as her hands reach out towards you. And I'm just gonna ping this because this is what she's been using to, or more or less, try to sense you once in a while.
Oh god. Some bloodline thing. That scares me.
Yeah, why do you think she didn't question when you said who you were on a sending message?
No. The thing that scares me is that the means the Titan of the End is also a bloodline thing. That's more so what I was afraid of.
Hmm. I don't sense any of the far realm infliction upon you.
That's because it's not necessarily an affliction. It is one and the same.
Yes, affliction to the soul. Child, just trust me that I know what I'm talking about. I do not mean to demean what you are telling me, it's just the term Titan of the End is that of one that brings absolute ruin, a null and void of existence to a reality. And I hope you did not learn its true name. If you have, dear child, I do not want to destroy you. You are my daughter, and I do not know why you are inquiring about this.
It's. I have not learned its name and had no real intention to. Instead, I wanted to look the opposite way, as she kind of looks at her now. I was curious if you know of any beings that were the creators of chaos, the instigators, the originators, something like that. Considering you have traveled many far realms, that you would come across something that could be comparable.
It is not that I travel in the far realms, it's more of I travel through it, bouncing here and there, adrift, no real destination in mind. Our kind is usually nomadic.
See,
And you
but
can see like she has not taken her hands off the sides of your head. But she is clearly looking at you very intently.
so you have not heard of any or origins of chaos, any points of people. Oh,
Not
gods.
quite. There are the cult of the stars, which they clearly worship an entity from the far realms. As to its true name, I have a hunch, but I'd risk not say its name, as where we are is oddly complicated, but they seem to have a closer reach than they normally should have. Thus, invoking their true names, or even at times their title names, might give them a bit more of a foothold in this reality that we are in.
Part of me thinks the foothold, at least for the cult of stars, is due to partially the Decentra family. Do you know of their uh, child? I believe she was called Atreya.
Make me a strength saving throw as I'm just gonna roll this for her.
Oh no. I'm about to get fucking bammed. God damn it. That's why I hate being a bard. That talks into
For a
the
brief
void.
moment, you feel her grip tighten just a little bit, but it's mostly out of reflex. And I don't know where that guidance thing is showing up, but it's not on her sheet. So I'm like, okay, game is just being mean with me. But anyway, uh, her reaction as she realized that she actually accidentally hurt you, her hands immediately shoot away from you. My, I am sorry, Ocarina, my child. I
No, it's fine. But
hold on. Stand still for a second as she will quite literally burn a high level spell to cast Cure Wounds on you. Even though you did not take any real physical damage,
mhm.
this is just her way. And why? Oh, that's right. I was supposed to click this here. Nope. Why did this not show up? Come on. Hmm. Okay. Roll 20 just being cracked to me. It's not showing up the other thing.
Oh, I think it
Oh,
just
there
showed
we
up
go.
now.
Roll me a d10.
Sure. 8.
Okay, she's casting at 8th level.
Jesus Christ. I do think this is a little bit much, but thank you either way.
Oh, you are my daughter. You deserve nothing but the best. And I do apologize for the 3 centuries or more not being in your life. I do have to ring your father inside and out a few times. Should I see him again?
One last thing. At the name Azaria, you seem to instinctively, want to almost break my skull.
Yes, she is a debauchery of a. She is one of the, if not the head priestess of the Cult of the Stars. Particularly, she has been, at least from my last encounter of her ilk, she was here in this particular area. I don't
Well,
know quite the details, but she is the head priestess.
from what I'm told, and I don't know because I don't know much of the Decentra family, because father really didn't go much into the courts and all the like. From what I've been told, the that Athery is not the same. There was another one that got erased from time. That's a whole other issue.
She looks at you very puzzled,
I'm just
and
telling you what I am told. I have no fucking clue half of what they're talking about.
who were the ones that told you this? As she looks over to Mavis and Arizel, which I will
Uh,
just go with they take the American plead the fifth manner approach right now.
Just our party, for the most part. She was originally, before I had joined this group, she was the one who was with them. But was a good person? I don't know.
A good person. Her.
I'm just telling you what I've been told.
I suppose there is the minute possibility it was a alter reality, as from my understanding it is not just time and space but just the perspective of one's cognitive relation to the universe. But as I had said, daughter, I and my kin, our kin in general, is usually a nomadic type. We don't really stay for too long. This has been one of the rare exceptions. But we also have an immense amount of food supplied to us.
brings up another question. Are you going to leave now that you have found me, or do you wish to stay in the city?
I'm surprised that's actually a question. I was going to ask if you would come with me. I do intend to take you back home, or at least see your. I don't know where she's at exactly, but it would be nice if you could see your grandmother and our flying ship, which we have kept quietly within
Part
within
of
the.
me, like above table, part of me is like, do I have to make another new character? Then at the other side of me, it's like, Oberina wasn't really invested in stopping Ed because there wasn't anything that held her down to this party. So, just above table thinking.
I told you ahead of time exactly what your mom is.
I know. That's what I'm thinking like above table. It would make sense to me that because technically Ed hasn't fucked her and she has no ties to him outside of. Oh, god damn it.
I suppose I do have to iron out the details with Invenado, but it shouldn't be too difficult. It's not like I asked him anything extraordinary or out of his hoard, and he only inquired some information about our magics and abilities. He was quite keen about our abilities of the mind.
How? Mm. When would we be leaving? In all, just out of curiosity, because I do have a few things I'd like to take care of. If we do.
She kind of looks around as you approach a very large red manor. I suppose it would take some time. Do not know. Are you
Nope, never.
taking the cooking classes right now?
Apparently,
Uh,
salad.
Oh shit, my fucking mic was unmuted.
yeah.
I'm like
That's
watching
someone like coming from the
video on
thing, huh?
TikTok.
Some cooking classes?
My bad. Sorry.
No,
I
you're
don't
fine.
even remember unmuting my mic.
No problem. All right. So she goes and adds, I, I do not know. Do you feel compelled to leave right away? Because if so, we could probably leave a few within a few days. But personally, I would like to eliminate the vermin. And you do feel the quiet rage from her. The vermin of the cult of the stars. Just leaving them around tends to cause trouble, more so than necessary.
Well, I can help with eliminating some of the cold, and I
Yes. You're
and
all
I would.
here.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
Also,
yeah,
one
okay.
Jason.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use you as the main token for everybody else and just have
The one thing though, I'd like to take care, like I had said, take care of a few things before just heading off somewhere.
Oh yes, of course. Like I said, you were you are my main goal to take I wanted to reunite with you, my child, to take care of you, be a proper parent. So much time has been lost. I don't even know if I'm actually being a good mother at the moment. I I didn't even I never even got the happiness to see you grow up and see your teeth come out for the first time.
Don't trust me, it wasn't all that exciting. I bit into some snow, and then the Yeti tried to punch me once. Very annoying.
A Yeti.
Oh, yes, I was in. If since you are in Toriel, I was in the spine of the world somewhere. Not great. Very cold, but filled with lots of people with high emotional, how do I say, problems. So very easy to feed. For all intents and purposes, as much as I understand you berate my father, he did do somewhat well raising me, though he was a bit of a man whore, sadly. I just learned to ignore it.
I think I know what's going on. Because there's another sheet. Okay. Yep.
Oh, we found it.
I was like, why? Like, I even put disadvantage for her.
Huh.
And it was not working. So I'm going to delete this sheet for now.
Okay.
Or at least this version of it.
But for the time being, at least, I think I need some rest, especially if you're thinking on leaving, and then we can reconvene for what, dinner? I don't know what time it is about.
Right now, as you guys entered, it was pretty much noon.
Or at least a later lunch.
I suppose. Let me just roll her history one more time because it was at disadvantage. She was not in total for very long, so oh damn, she got a 20. But then again, she's a 18th level, so Hmm. I did some studies. That might explain why Oberon decided to hide there, that son of a bitch. Did you know that we both agree on your name, taking bits and pieces of our names to make yours?
I did not, but I guess I do now.
Yes. This is quite awkward. She looks over to Mavis and Arizel and to Benj. You are welcome to stay within the Crimson Manor if she looks over to you, Oberina. If you wish to find accommodations, there are a couple of inns you may. She kind of immediately checks herself and pulls out a ring, which has a siglet onto it.
Mhm.
I will present image and siglet later on off session or
Yeah, no
after
problem.
session. Present this to any of the owners there. Let them know that you are my daughter and they will give you the best of care. However, I will have to warn you, be careful of the grandeur court at the moment. They are certainly not the types to. You do not wish to mess with them. There is also those criminals, which Ludwig has been doing a decent job cleaning them, but they propagate like roaches.
The problem with that kind of issue is there will always be another hole somewhere with other people waiting to take power. But as I said, I will go find a room. Would you point the way, please?
If you wish, you can stay here. I have absolutely no problem. And then she immediately shouts, Kinsmen, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to make the announcement I have found my daughter.
Please
We're
tell
going
me
to.
everyone's like, yay. Like, they
It is.
just.
They're all just staring, but there's also some of them are resisting the urge to do the slow clap. But you do
Okay,
see a
good.
lot of. You can roll me a perception, insight, or investigation.
My insight, it's a 9. Do that. Wow.
Yep, a lot of eyes are on you. Some coming from more intently than others. And then your mother immediately taking you by the hand and looking at everyone else. Come, come. I will give you all proper rooms somewhere here, or perhaps in a little bit I can show you to one of my more favorite manors I like to go to. And with that, we will
Okay.
shift. So is anyone saying anything for Syndra, Tiernan, and Kermit as you guys are being led to Ludwig's place of residence by Varpel?
I'm good.
feel like after the Fiat like bomb, it was just kind of like at one point she just turned and looked at her and was like, "That explains logic," but it really didn't
Smith-
say anything.
He gives a slight apologetic nod. I do apologize for that. I did not lie, but I just did not say everything.
It doesn't
is.
change anything, so it's not a big deal.
And as you guys enter, looks to be like a labyrinthine temple, which you guys can roll me either investigation, history, or insight.
Ten.
19.
20.
Wait, where's that 20?
Not
Oh.
not 20.
Okay. It was on the GM roll. I had to look up, like, where's that? Oh, there's that 20. Okay. Make sure to switch your character sheet.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Hit the toggle back, but don't worry, I'll take the 20. So, going from ascending order, Tiernan, this looks like a very defensible place. Lots of stone. With the insight of Syndra and Kermit, both you can tell that not only is it very defensible, but it has the cold feeling of a militaristic vibe, a mindset. And you guys are all here as you are led through multiple corridors and finally into a room. And of course, the knights that were escorting you, these gentlemen, take their position. And you realize that it is a long corridor, which you see golden cobra statues. Well, they look golden at first, but you realize that it's a well-maintained bronze. And further back, you do see a man sitting between two giant stone cobra statues. But before him, you realize there are more scaly creatures hanging about, and they are all poised in a intent watchfulness. A young woman standing by the side, but clearly the gentleman on the chair or the stone throne is watching you all very intently with, well, his great sword has embedded itself into the ground, and you do not need a roll. You can tell the man is poised, watching very intently, with Varpel going, guests, these are the guests who have brought back. He pauses, looks over. Lady Fia Greaves Cartelius, wife of Lord Ludwig and mother of Genora. Then he pauses, looks at all of you. Now, what name shall I address you all by?
Well, since we're in the presence of nobility, I am Baroness Sindra Prestfallen, and these are my mercenaries. This is Tiernan, Kermit, and I can't remember who else was.
I think Kerr is supposed to be with us.
Kerr
Count.
vanished.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank fuck. Well, we had Binge.
That's right. We had the rest of them too.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
the
had
other,
basically the rest of the party. Or the
yeah,
rest
the
of the other
other
party.
Bestio, Knockly. Yeah, I'm just not gonna put all their. I'm not gonna put all their
Yeah,
tokens
she will
in.
introduce them.
And Varpal looks over to Lady Fia. Madame, please, before Master Ludwig decides to greet others with sword if he thinks that things are afoul. She takes a breath, strains herself up, and you can all hear the notable pops and cracks. Yes, I suppose my husband does tend to be quick on the draw. I see that my pets are doing well. And then as she starts making a head, she looks over your direction, Sindra and everyone. You may follow along. Varpal, you know what needs to be done. Yes.
Would Tyrion think these beasts breaks? Something different.
You can roll me. You can roll me investigation or history at advantage.
11.
Okay. So, you know the ones that are closest, at the very least, these are known as ambush drakes.
I like that.
They hunted packs. They're also poisonous. As for the two larger ones that are on the top of the Cobra statues, you are not sure, but from the way they look and the way they're acting, probably just as kin to, well, whatever these individuals are. And Fia begins to approach with Varpel behind. None of them are even making a move. Husband. The man sitting on the stone throne slowly gets up, letting go of his weapon as he approaches Fia. There is a very notable sniff and very swiftly pulls her into a hug. My wife. I had thought I had lost you. And very calmly, he steps to the side as he pulls his blade away. And Fia takes her spot to sit down on said throne. And let me switch her token now because this is actually no longer necessary. And it is Fia who now speaks very quickly. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you all for returning me to my family. My husband, skilled as he is with military tactics and stamping out vermin, has difficulty with politics. I'm sure the Inferno of the Star Mountains will be most grateful for the aid you have provided us. Then she gestures her hand as she pats on the young woman's hand. It is good that you are both safe and sound, my husband and daughter. Looks to you all again. Proper introductions are needed. Gestures to the man, my husband, Lord Ludwig Cartellus. He is the ruler, or at least the major power, the military force of Rashakan. My daughter, Janora. And myself for proper greetings. I am Lady Fia Grievous Cartellus, the other half of the rulership with my husband. She looks over to her husband, to Ludwig, who is currently silent at the moment, but it is clear that he is refraining from grabbing and holding his wife more, as this is a public audience. My dear husband, these individuals, Baroness Sindra Gallos and her mercenaries, have done well and brought me here safe and sound through turbulent events, ones that I will inform you about when we have time. I believe a proper reward is necessary. With as if taking a deep breath. Ah, you're right. I'm just doing what I can to keep my roarous joy of glee that my wife, my star moon, is finally home. By my side, by our daughter's side. And he looks over to all of you. Right, rewards. We have jewels, gems, precious stones. I don't suppose you have a bag of holding to carry it all.
Oh, yes, I do.
Excellent. Varpal, would you mind getting those 3 bags of holdings containing about half of what we have at stock? The albino goblin just gives a nod. And as he approaches to your direction, he immediately makes a sharp turn and goes, what looks to be like he just went right into the wall.
Oh, waiting. These brakes of yours seem quite well behaved.
Which one are you talking to?
He, thankfully he doesn't have to address a single person up there because he could just address all 3 of them from this distance.
Excellent. So let me see which one. That was a smooth way to go at it. Okay, it is Ludwig. Okay, yeah, of course he's gonna be proud about that. You have a good eye. Yes. Considering that we no longer follow a particular sect of ours, their religion, we still do have our hobbies of raising young drakes and the scale kind. And he gestures to the ones before you, they are a most common breed, the ambush drakes. More like guard hounds, but loyal once you understand their disposition and treat them with the proper respect.
Yes, it is. As a fellow of their kind, it is difficult for me to see drakes in chains as you usually do. Assert their own dominance is a accommodation on your good breeding.
You don't need to roll for this, Tyrannin, or any of you. You do see that all of them, even the beasts, the drakes, the dragons, none of them are chained, and more importantly, they are standing in a militaristic formation.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna roll
that's
to
what
see if I
Tyrion
could.
was praising them
Yeah.
for doing.
I was rolling to see if I could tell if they were poisoned.
I'm gonna
As
guess
far as you can
probably that
tell-
one.
As far as you can tell, maybe. And then Ludwig points to the large green one up there. That is the Tsar. Hatched from an egg, some fools thought that they were going to have to raise him to be a sacrifice, but such a noble creature does not deserve to be made into some cultist food or stew.
After Okay. Yeah. Pretty much everybody in that general 10-foot radius of Tyrion. Happens whenever, dragons being sacrificed comes up. It can instantly tell that hit. All the hair or metal armor that they're wearing is standing on end or a little easy to shock.
Syndra, you just feel like, since she doesn't have pupils, you just sense that Syndra's staring at you, and you hear out of the side of her quietly, "Composure, Terdin."
I'm going to do
And
anything.
finally, Sakita, as he gestures to the really larger cobra looking creature. She is, one would call her, a guardian of my family as well. She may not look it, but she is even older than my grandsire.
Tyrion will over that direction. For first time, probably second time, if you guys have seen, Tyrion will actually lower his head and bow towards in a tail will kind of just back and forth in Draconic.
Tyrion, you get a. You feel something probe your mind.
I will allow it.
Interesting. You are of the true children of the dragon god.
I am indeed.
I am sure my charges would receive you favoredly if you were to use your true form, but I feel something amiss.
If she's in my head, I'll add my telepathy with hers and show her. Let's call it the incident.
Just gonna roll this for her. I see. a grievous crime. And even though, Tyrannon, how do you look at someone when you're speaking some telepathy?
With her, he has after the battle. Kind of just looks very calm. His head's probably tilted about 10 degrees.
You notice, and I'll give this to you, you notice that Sakita, for a brief moment, others who are looking at her as well, see that her whiskers and her head tilts just a little bit in the direction towards one of the two females. And upon that, could you three roll me 5d20 exploding dice?
Okay. God dang it. I got a 19. That was fun. Hey, Miser, I crit a 19. Does that still work?
I'm
Shut
sorry,
up.
buddy. I'm going for-
That's why I used the
I'm going
voice
straight for
man.
the
I
20.
knew.
Okay, so Varpal comes out from. Well, you can all roll me a perception.
Yeah, no, don't pay attention to him.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Yeah, Syndra. That goblinoid somehow just casually walked up, but he went the other way. And each of you get the following in this order. Let me just type it down.
Give me a second.
Just Varpal just walks over and presents you these small, well, not really small anymore. They're actually satchels filled with jewels.
So I have a bag of holding now.
They're not a bag of holdings. They're just really big stuffed satchels.
Oh, okay.
Syndra motions. Syndra actually will motion towards Kieran.
And then Varpal, the goblin, just passes it to you, Tyrannon.
Tyrannon will grab the bag and cannot help the grin.
You're drooling. Again.
Yes, you are. I understand that this is a lot of wealth,
It's
but if
not
my master,
that. It's the largest pile of gems I've seen since I've left my hoard.
Hearing in, my body's vibrating.
All right.
The sword's vibrating.
This
Usually I don't care about this stuff, but something's different.
Ludwig just has this bellowous laughter. I understand if you think this is too much for you, but this is probably the least I can do at this moment to thank you all for returning my partner, my wife, my other half of my soul to me and to our daughter. As long as you're in Rashakan, you're under my protection. Although, I suppose that means little in these particular tiring weeks.
Am I wrong though?
No, you're not. I'm just reading it.
Well, Lord and Lady, now that that business is completed, would you prefer to perhaps talk at a later time about the reason that I'm here besides returning her ladyship?
Ludwig pauses, looks over to Fia, then to Janora. I believe you two have much to be acquainted with each other right now. And he himself starts to descend down through the throne, and you all do hear the heavy footsteps. And with only a slight gesture, or rather a gesture of his chin, Varpal simply nods. And once again, similar fashion, begins walking through a certain path. And right in front of all of you, he seems to just vanish into the wall. Very well, considering that no doubt you and your guests will be needing accommodations. Walk with me. We will see if we can discuss these things within, well, within perhaps the most fortified home lair here in Rashakan.
She nods at him. She's being very. I will point this out to Tyrannon. You have never seen her be this noble.
Yeah. Oh, he's clocked that. Didn't drink out of your flask once.
He nods and proceeds forward.
And as he begins to walk away, Tyrion will let you feel that he is restored to the link. Doesn't know if you want to say anything to him or not, but he take it off Kermit and put it back on you.
As soon as that, you hear in your head, eyes and ears open, Tyrannon.
So we're gonna do a little bit of theater of the mind, but I didn't finish the rest of the temple that these guys are in.
No worries.
But
No big deal.
as you are passing through, all of you and the NPCs do see that there are more types of drakes, which Tyrannon and Syndra, as well as Kermit, you don't need to roll for this, but you immediately recognize there are various types of chromatic guard drakes. And they are well disciplined, as well as various warriors. And you'll notice, and I will just put them onto this sheet here.
Are any of them reacting to my sword?
They are, actually, considering what sword that you're wielding. The drakes are mostly, at least those that get close enough, do recognize it. Ludwig did not seem to react to it at all. But he is going to look in that direction for a little bit, but he will not say anything out loud. You do see a lot of warriors. Some of them coming back in.
Oh, that's so
And-
cool.
And of course, many of them.
But I feel like the first guys fight a lot like I do.
Jump up and punch.
But a lot of them stop. They give Ludwig a salute. Some bow. And you all realize that this is a level of respect not just to a lord or a king. This is a respect among equals. Roll me investigation or insight.
Oh, buddy, you gotta roll once on one of these.
I was gonna say, isn't this almost technically kind of the way that, never mind.
I mean, I feel like Syndra recognizes this from her crew.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it sounds like
Oh,
similar to
oh,
like the
one
same
sec, one
respect
sec, one
Syndra
sec.
has.
Yes, it is. It is very much like it. Let me see what one.
And what
That
tier
makes
next?
sense.
Oh.
Kermit doesn't care because he doesn't see that structure.
No, okay. So we'll go with ascending. So Kermit, you do realize that a lot of the drakes do seem to look confused as they look at you. They do give a bit of a dismissive shake of their head and move away from you. Tiernan and Syndra. Syndra, you recognize this sort of loyalty. This is a loyalty that your crewmen give to you because you share not only common goal, but you shed blood, tears, food, goals, missions together. It is the respect very similar, Tiernan, that you and the Azure Blades had, the Azure Dancers. It is the camaraderie of family. And not once has Ludwig showed any disrespect to you. In fact, he has thanked you 3 times already. And it is very heartfelt. Right. So I suppose Lord Ominence has been displeased of the treasury that I have been sending him as tributes.
As far as I was concerned, no, I don't believe that's the thing. That's between you and his accountant. No, I'm here on your infestations.
Yes, they populate faster than rats and vermin.
Oh, we're quite good at dealing with those kinds of problems. And
Before we go,
we're all personally invested.
yes, and before we go too much further, you are no doubt aware that a group did arrive earlier to your city, and went to calls with, I believe her name is Marion.
Yes, the Blood Countess.
Yes, the ones that arrived are with my group. However, one of them has a more personal connection to Marion. The others were just to make sure nothing went wrong. But I didn't want there to be any misunderstandings in communications.
The Varpal
I'm
did
here.
tell me that.
I'm here to kill Red Fox and cultists.
As you're walking, he leads you to what looks to be like a courtyard. And you may all roll me a constitution if you believe your characters don't think they can stomach the stench of multiple beheaded heads on stacked up on pikes like totem poles.
I think
Oh,
we're the three
Kermit will be fine.
perfect people to come here. Actually,
Cinder is that kind of person that's literally like, I strapped people to the front of my ship until they died and rotted because they were mutineers. So
I slept
no.
in toilets and swamps.
ever smelled a rotting whale?
Well, I was want to make sure because as you do say that, as you are here to hunt cultists and Red Fox, Ludwig says, then I believe we will get along quite well. As I said, as he points to some of the particular heads, some of them seem to be coming back no matter how much I killed them. And Syndra, can you roll me investigation at advantage?
That's a 20.
You recognize that in one particular spike, which seems to be somewhat barren because there's only two heads there, both of the heads look very much alike. They look exactly like the very same high ranking official member that tormented Arizel.
Seen him before, too.
Syndra kind of walks over, counts on her fingers. My words, the amount of money he must have put forth for this. Spits on it.
Ah, so it was the clone spell. I've been wondering why some of them look alike when I had to kill them.
Yes,
Or
there's an
my man.
individual with them. She'll describe the one that Ari saw with discussing the cloning.
Now explain why I didn't see that other one. Yes, well, the heads here are the trophies. The corpses, which I do feel bad for my drakes, but they do need food, and the vermin have been a less than satisfying supply. Otherwise, we just grind them up and use them as fertilizer. Last I recall, they've been scammering around their sewers, which has been a bit of a problem.
So I'm guessing there's a rather elaborate sewer and crypt system underneath the city.
Yes, it is connected to the ruins that's south from here.
Kermit walks up to one of the bodies and takes a bite. Not bad. I could see why you drakes would like this.
They tend to add and spice their meat with a little bit of poison from their own stomach and fangs.
Kermit takes another piece and rubs it on his skin and takes a bite. Yeah, it does give it a little bit of a kick.
Okay, but if you ever get bored with us, it looks like you can find employment here.
Speaking of, he looks at Kermit, and Kermit, you see that Ludwig is sizing up a little bit. I am curious why a champion of Lady Takesis is here.
Like last night, so.
Simple. I'm a mercenary.
Trying to prevent the. Yeah. Mike's being alive.
Does bring us to the other question. The reality is we're hunting a wizard in black robes. Tends to go by the name Ed Matthias Dominguez. Or perhaps you've heard of his creations.
Before we begin talking, can we please just. I'm in listening.
Oh.
1 second, I'm just gonna roll this.
Wait, I'm not a paladin yet, right? I'm still barbarian technically.
You're still barbarian for the moment.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But Sindra and Tyrion, as you mentioned about Ed and the vermin, Ludwig tilts his head to the side, and you just see him spit onto the ground. Right. A black magus, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He's taking interest in robotic rats and mosquitoes. Correct term, right? Robotic.
You mean those metal creatures?
Yes.
Yes, I've been having my drakes be playing around with them now these days. Well, destroying them, but at least as a fun exercise for them. As long as none of them try to blow up or the like. And
see.
Sindra. So, let me just get a particular image because you do see some things, or rather, a bunch of things. Let's put this here, and
Just like to point out, this is Tyrion's favorite noble he's ever met. Besides Syndra. So far, he's said everything correct.
Just because you know they'd worship you if they could.
Absolutely.
so Syndra, you do see a bunch of drakes ripping or smashing a few shiny things. Actually, Turnin and Kermit, you do see this as well. And it looks something like this.
Oh.
Yeah, he's improving his work.
Yes, this one looks much more put together. The full, all the teeth marks.
Yeah, it's mangled because it's not just 5 or 6 drakes tearing apart at these mechanical looking canines. It's about a good 4 or 5 dozen. Yes. Well, they seem to be enjoying their chew toys. There has been more variants of them lurking around outside of Rashakan. Now I'll just place it right here so you guys can all see it next to your tokens.
To do with the mutated creatures, such as the scorpions, other things causing weird infections and diseases.
Yes, well, recently we had to deal with flying iron wasp.
That seems to be the one we're most familiar.
Well, it seems from the looks of it, my patrol group have not found much of the red fox, but we have been dealing with a swarm of cultists that are also infesting the sewers.
Oh, I have a bone to pick with them.
Oh, good. Considering that one of their, I believe their head priestess has been spotted somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, she paid a
Yeah.
visit. He gestures. Continue.
I was curious about what was his name? Charles, Richard, Baldy McBalderson.
The guy that's not really attached to his head.
Yes, that one.
I know of the individual you speak of. I did not care to hear his name. He turned into some sort of amorphous blob creature. Yes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he does that. I think it's a social problem.
Perhaps. Not that I care, but he slithered away into the cracks deeper into the sewers, no doubt. Lurking in the Starfall ruins.
Oh, I didn't want to go there anyway.
We hear we need permission to go.
Then permission is granted. Varpel, as he says this, you all sense a, well, walking literally between all of you, just very casually just walking by.
Yeah, you're as sneaky as your kinsman.
Yes, my lord. Would you mind getting my effects to give them the permanent approval? There's no reason for me to worry about what Nikolai and Mariam would want to say because I am the one who rules Rashikhan, and now that my wife is here, things will proceed much more smoothly without their back talking. At once,
Look-
sir.
I just want to make sure you heard what I said to Varpal.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
he just gives you a slight nod, but then he's just focused on his boss.
Absolutely. I just wanted to make sure that Discord put it through.
Yeah, you call him a sneaky bastard.
No, I specifically said you're sneaky as your kinsman
Yeah.
Mm.
because Varpal snuck up on Tyrion a lot too.
You know what, Tyrion? Since you said that, I want you to roll me either investigation or insight.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm making you do a
Investigation.
lot of-
Come on, buddy. 14.
He seems as unflappable as ever.
Yep. I love how Senator
then-
told Tyrion to keep his eyes and ears open. Fucking 1 to perception.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He has very high stealth.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I totally expected to not actually be able to catch it. But I hoped the smarter people around me would.
But Varpal just gives a courteous bow to Ludwig. It will be done. Shall I handle the other situations? Take care of one or two of those tasks. I don't want you spread too thin. And now that we have allies, they're also our guests. I would like you to bring them to. He looks over to Sindra. Would you wish to rest here, or perhaps one of the inns that I could recommend?
She looks at Tyrion. Here will be acceptable. If it's not imposing.
It is not. Very well, Varpel. Send a message to Lady Mariam. Since, if I'm not mistaken, he looks over to Sindra for confirmation. Baroness Sindra's comrades are also there. I would like to know if their condition is safe, considering Mariam's mood swings.
Well, they haven't messaged me anything, and
I shall.
my second in command hasn't come running to tell me anything, so I imagine they're doing fine, but yes, a message would be good. I suspect.
You have my night with him.
Ludwig looks at the three of you. You do not know what Lady Mariam is, do you?
She's a vampire
Space vampire.
from space.
He gives Tyrion a yes nod. And Varpel just steps here, and as he walks toward the wall once again, very easily just seems to slip right into the wall.
So, Lord Ludwig,
Yes.
who has your suspicions?
Nikolai. Mariam is too emotionally inept. Or rather, you know where you stand with her.
A vampire without very long, complex plans? That surprises me, actually.
If that surprises you, there is more about her that will continue to surprise you. She does have a head on politics, but apparently once she is riled up in a certain emotional flux, she is hard to deal with. And don't let her small frame fool you. She's probably one of, if not the strongest creature to dwell in this particular city.
Hermit, you might have a rival.
It appears so.
I would not suggest provoking her.
I know this is a very odd question, but what about Madame Medea?
He pauses as he's about to say something, then looks in the direction of where Fia and Janora are at, or at least down the vast amounts of corridors and turns that he made. It seems like he has a homing beacon as to where she's at. Madame Medea works for my wife. Let us just say that upon my wife's disappearance, there was some stern words that were exchanged. And she was most desperate to find my wife, as well as to reclaim or save her little sister. From what I heard, her sister had a falling in with that very same damnable cult that the head priestess had seduced her in.
That was where my concern came from. It's not the first time we've had a dealing with Edea, and I wanted to know if she was out for herself and to what end she might be willing to do things. But if you've cleared her, I will leave it at that.
There is a silence as he's, again, not looking at any of you, but rather past all of you. Yes, well, I am not as thorough, or rather gentle, as either my wife or daughter. Madame Medea learned that the hard way. As well as many red foxes. Now, considering that it's already past the noon time for lunch and food, would you be willing to wait a little bit longer as we prepare a feast for the fact that my wife has returned home? We are to say it within your honor as well.
Maybe we can sustain ourselves until the feast is ready.
Yes.
Yep.
Just so you know, Ludwig, so that we have an understanding, because there is a lot of this pomp and circumstance. I didn't do this for the reward or for any other reason. Your wife is a victim of Red Fox. And what they did to her, I will do to a lot of them. Far worse. But it
Very
had
good.
nothing to do with who she was or what. She's just a victim of them to me. Just so you know how passionate I am about killing foxes. Whether she was an urchin or nobility meant nothing to me. Bringing her home safely is all that mattered to me.
There is a silence, and Ludwig looks over to Tyrion as you were about to say something as well.
Oh, he was like, and she's very good at hiding who's.
Then allow me to speak candidly, not as Lord Ludwig of Rashikon City, but as Ludwig, the husband and father, as a man as I am. And he gives a full proper bow, I thank you for saving my wife. I was prepared to burn the entire city down and incur Inferno's wrath for her. Because I wasn't going to allow any of those scumbag vermin to leave this land alive.
We found her in Stormforge. They had gone that far north with her. And to understand if your wife doesn't talk about it, Cinder reaches into a bag and pulls out a certain jar. It took us hours to pull all of these out of her.
May I? As he gestures to hold the jar of rot grubs in there.
Just be careful.
He is very careful.
I would like to return them to their owners.
There's a man with a mask that I would love to have. And two of them.
Everyone roll me perception or investigation. As I'm gonna roll this for Ludwig.
Oh, it was on a 17. Fuck.
Oh. So for the briefest of moments, Ludwig's form, or rather his visage, shifts, and Cinder, you're the closest to it. You see the eyes dilate into slits, and the irises turn into pure yellow. And Tyrannin, for a brief moment, you see like his snout or his frontal face starts to expand forward. But just as quickly as that was appearing, it seems like he forced it back, and he very carefully gives you back the jar of rot grubs. I will make each and every one of their leaders suffer. They will not find peace in the afterlife either. Thank you. You have free reign to wander my dwellings. The only places that I will not allow you permission is the private quarters of myself, my wife, and my daughter, Janora, unless given permission so.
Easily understood.
If you are in need of our services or the aid of my men, simply speak to them. Varpil is usually not far. Calling him by his name, he may appear. Do not be alarmed. If he wishes anyone harm, they wouldn't know until it was too late. He is efficient.
My first mate's the same way. So understand. Thank you, Lord Ludwig. We will begin shortly, but I was curious. Do the ruins connect to the Southern Ocean?
I am unsure. Due to the hostile wildlife, as well as some of the larger beasts that lurk here, as well as some of the tribesmen that, while I have made some treaties with them, tensions are still high. my particular faction has not explored too deeply into the ruins. We have carved a spot for ourselves, which, as he gestures to the bags of gems that you are all holding, is where we got, or rather collected, the majority of our hoard. Nikolai of the Grandeur Court has most hold of it, but not enough to prevent a permit made by either me or Mariam, as we hold more or less a strong position of influence to allow those we give permission to enter.
How integral is Nicholas to everything?
He holds sway with the finances and the mercantile sections, which is why at this moment I will give you a heads up warning. The prices might be a bit inflated.
Reason to believe the cult enjoys influencing higher societies. So, maybe you and your wife placement for that man. Come to the excommunicate.
Then I will also add, to those of you that, do you know what a Rashaska is?
More or less.
I think Tiernan would.
You can roll me a history.
Come up in both.
Yes.
11?
Vaguely remember some of your sister's notes, or rather her babbling about how is it that this strange tiger man with backward hands could be immune to certain levels of certain level tiers of spells, and it only allows it to be affected because it said so.
There's spellcasting devils appeared backwards.
And
Yes.
he deals with merchants.
Yes.
I know another devil that endures such things, so perhaps Bermadir might be of assistance.
Ermadir Bloodstone.
She nods.
I am almost curious as to how you managed to make that one a confidant.
Aided his brothers in relieving themselves from imprisonment. Reach into the pocket and take out the token of the stones.
That's the murder stones.
Oh, I thought we were talking about
No, Bermadir is Bloodstone.
Right. Yep.
They're cousins.
Yes.
Yeah, but they don't like each other.
They're
When
just
I
compatible.
arrived in
Sorry,
Zod,
I thought we were talking about.
Nah. But you, the moment if you do show that, he looks at it. Ah, the murder stones too. You have allies. Good.
That's
You're-
why I was curious about his importance. Is if it's one thing I know Iavana is going to be quite interested in is, well, Vermidia is going to be more interested in is the financial counting here. And if someone's causing a stir with that, I know he gets very agitated.
Yes. I suspect Lord Ominence would be of that particular mindset as well. Nicholas is, well, that is the name that we use for public conversation. We don't really know his true name. how important he is to the mercantile, it is fluctuating. He gestures to some of the statues. Ironically, he has good artisans on his side. Though, if he were to disappear, I am sure Bermadir could handle the finances.
We cross that bridge when we come to it. Predominantly, our interest is to get rid of the infestations before they get too aggressive.
Yes,
And of course,
Mariam and
mansion mimic.
I had heard from some of my watchers. So you were the ones that dealt with Sarade.
Indeed.
Correct.
That was what we were hired by Miss Lord Almonance to do, and that's what we did.
Did he receive an honorable end?
Most.
Indeed. He made his decision, stood by it as a man of his fortitude did, and him and Lord Almonance parted on good terms.
I only known him for a decade at most. But there was no question that he held his honor and his family at heart. Thank you.
I would say his only failing, and as a word of caution, was his decision to have a small dealing with the Magus.
Another nail to add to that mage's skull. Then he pauses. Right. He had arrived in Rashakan many months ago, before the infestation became rampant here. We held a tribunal court audience with him. Well, I know that myself and my wife felt a tinge of rage towards him. Then he looks in the direction of Kermit, and I suspect he had some dealings or done something to Lady Takesis.
Yes, he did.
It is always good to follow our instincts. Lady Mariam showed no interest in his babble, though Nikolai, well, you know how certain individuals with a taste for mercantile luxury are when they see a possible mage to craft them valuables. The mage remained in Rashakan for about 3 weeks and then left. I do not know much about what he had done here. Varpo simply mentioned that the Magus was not only hard to track, but kept frequenting the Starfall ruins, as well as Nikolai's grandeur court.
Talk about suspect, especially, in my opinion. I do apologize, my friend here did forget a certain section. Introduction, not just known as Turn in the Gravekeeper. And Cinder would know that that is only the second time he has said that. It's to Inferno, and now
The role is a disadvantage because he is not from Toriel.
of course. But I mean, a kobold with a title like that,
Yes.
I'm guessing the
He
man
under- he under-
might be smart enough.
Oh yeah, he understands the title. He's just trying to think of like history. Where have I heard that particular title from? All right. You'll have to pardon my ignorance of not knowing the face to that title. Though,
If you would allow me, I can proof him. Only do.
as you say that, he very carefully says, "Then a moment," as he goes to his necklace and touches it for a brief moment. You may now.
And well, since Tyrion has seen his new form in True Sight, because he didn't look in a mirror when he did it, he will give him his old countenance. Yes.
Okay. So, Tyrion, can you roll me a wisdom?
Just straight wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom saving throw.
Saving throw.
Because unfortunately,
That's
these
5.
are kind of okay. So you peer in, and because of your nature and who you are, and for a very brief moment, because only you see this, but where Ludwig is standing, you see this instead. Huh?
Ah, that's cool.
Ha, I was right.
So Tyrion won't say anything about it, but Ginger will see that very creepy grin he gets when meeting fellow bigger skilled folk. And he won't say anything. He'll just transport the image.
Yeah.
Before I met the
And
Magus, I looked like that.
I see.
Big
Unfortunately,
snake. It started with an S. The one I told about the incident.
oh, Sakita.
Cicada. If speak to Cicada, give you a bit more information.
I understand. Again, I do apologize for not knowing your identity. The moment you mentioned the world of Toril, I am from a world you will call Kirin.
Ah, that explains the different name for Tiamat.
Yes, we know her as Takesis.
That's not Pinge's world.
Nope.
Okay, so the third world has now been introduced.
But Tiernan probably knows that because it's one of the very few that has connections to
Yes.
Oriel.
Tyrion was not a scholarly man. Dragon.
Yep. I'm just typing the name of the world down, and DM might have spelled it wrong, but it is something of that particular spelling. And
Yeah, that's right.
he just adds, yes, well, I think due to most things, just be glad you don't have to run into a creature race called a Kender. You probably wipe them all out due to how much they can annoy somebody very easily.
I feel like I've already been pinned. That was a joke.
He actually chuckles a little bit.
Okay, good, because Tyrion's never been the one for humor, but
Well, as we are now standing on ceremony, I will be dismissing myself since I must speak with my wife as well as Sakita and see the preparations of the feast. We should have it ready within 3 hours at fastest.
you should just take time to reunite.
Of course, I'm going to give the orders and they will follow. Good day, everyone.
Okay.
Good day.
Day.
Now, this is for Kermit, but I'm assuming we're like in our rooms, quote unquote.
Yes.
Because I'm certain we have like an entire like good section, quote unquote, apartment.
Yep. Just give me a second. There is a section that he did have
Okay.
to throw you guys in.
Are you trying to give me the armor?
Yes.
You might want to wait till I'm a paladin.
Well, I think.
Well, you're a
I,
paladin.
I think.
You're a paladin now.
I think I'm about to change your life.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
I have magic for world transformation.
So you guys are there as you were led to a individual building.
So, god damn it! I'm scrolling through all the NPCs. Like, where's my token?
And one of the knights simply gives you all a bow, a salute. Greetings. Lord Ludwig has said that you have free access to this tower, or at least this facilities of the building.
Just quick, male or female?
I'm gonna roll for this. Female.
Okay. Literally, was just gonna change word. One word. Thank you, sir. We try to not make your life any more inconvenient than it already is.
It is fine. Master Ludwig is joyous right now, more so than he has been in the past few months since the kidnapping of his wife. We had kept it on lockdown to show no weakness. Thus, do understand that this gratitude is not so easily rewarded to any, except for those that have done a great servitude and honor to our Lord.
We're just doing what was right. Oh. Well, Tyrion will give a head nod and would gesture towards the door as he starts walk around the desk.
Yep. And she immediately goes and opens the door for all of you. Some of our knights will be patrolling here to ensure there is no scavengers and vermin about. We had tightened our security ever since the kidnapping of Our Lady. And we do apologize if the drakes are of any problems to you. If they are, please let us know.
I'm sure that
They
won't be
are
a
our-
problem.
Thank you, sir. He gives you all a polite bow.
Can I get Sidra and Kermit to roll an insight check on Tyrion?
You said insight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Sindra, he looks. You probably assume he's happy that he just got a hoard full of gems. Kermit, Tyrion is different. Like he is extreme, like elated, and he's like, "Come along, I have something to show both of you." But mainly, and he'll gesture towards Kermit. I think you'll enjoy this. And he's like,
Syndra kind of stops for a moment with the guard. Do I need to ask verbal for this, or can I just ask you to find him on? But could you get a messenger and a runner? And I need about 20 gold worth of incense. She hands out a pouch with 20 gold in it. And
It shall be done.
thank you.
And she turns, and Syndra, you can roll me an Arcana.
Yay, that thing I'm good at. But not today.
Well, it was only a level 2 spell, but you can see she's doing the somatic gesturings. Where she's casting the sending spell. And then she turns to you. One of our runners will be arriving to perform the errands and tasks that you wish. Should be ready within the hour.
Thank you.
Gives a polite bow and quietly returns to her position. And as that is happening, let us zoom back to Oberina. So, Oberina, how are you feeling as you sort of talking to Mom?
Weird, cause especially like when it was brought up, hey, you wanna get out of here and go, quote unquote, home. I think that's just kind of sitting in the back of our mind at the moment.
Mm. Yes. So, you guys are outside. I didn't do the proper outside right now because it's crazy what I had to do. But you may roll me a perception. I gotta roll one for her too.
Yay.
She does not have a vant. Fuck. Well, that makes
I mean,
sense.
Mavis has a passive of like fucking a
I know,
lot.
but
you
I'm
know?
not gonna. I'm not gonna play another person's character. That's one of my rules.
Yeah, no worries.
It would have been great to see how those two would react to the, well, 13. Yep. Okay. So, Oberina, you feel something poke, or rather, brush by your leg, and just says in a very droll voice, "Are you the one in the company of Baroness Sindra Gallos?"
Yes. Who is asking exactly?
You see this,
No. She got that, but like, she's
and
asking.
before Before he replies, it is your mother who speaks. Oh, isn't it not the spy master of Lord Ludwig, Mr. Varpel?
Wait, Varpel, like Verpel? Does he say anything to that when Oberina says that? Oh, my voice go. Hold on.
Hold on.
Nope, there we go.
No, you're
Did
good.
he,
What
did
are
he
you doing?
say anything to that?
He just kind of looks at your mother's direction. Very droll looking. Lady Mariam, I do not wish to be too candid, but this is a personal message from my master Ludwig to the guest that you are entertaining. And he looks to you, Oberina. Your comrades and Lady Baroness Sindra is staying at Lord Ludwig's personal villas. Well, a defensible position. And he just looks very stone faced at the moment.
Well, for the time being, tell them I am safe here within the manor. Unless they are wishing for me to go visit.
Not quite. They are to inform you of a feast, since, as he looks to. I just hear it. Did I just hear in the background?
Wait, who's...
No, sorry, that was in real life. I heard like a weird noise.
There's a
Never
bear
mind.
in your apartment, time to run.
Oh, you know what? I haven't tried out bear stew before, so I want to know if the meat's really that gamey.
It kind
It
of
is. It is.
I've had it before, it's not that great.
Okay,
I had a
thank you
bear
for
steak
warning.
and a bear roast. They're very hard to cut, very hard to chew.
Okay, so Varpal just adds, yes, well, Lord Ludwig is holding a private feast for the ones that brought his wife back. Looks to Mariam. If you are interested, you will have to ask Lord Ludwig for a invitation.
Oh dear God.
Oberina,
Yeah.
you may roll me an insight.
Do I really have to?
Nah.
I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure considering how she's acted so far, just that snub to her is probably gonna make her want to punch him out of the room.
Yes. If you want, what's your passive perception?
It should be, hold on, I think it's a 19. Yeah, it's a 19.
Okay, you hear the flexing of her fingers and the bones cracking as a balled into a fist, and just very calmly walks over to Varpal. Well, I understand your master was upset. And just to keep it in mind, this is my daughter you are addressing. She can stay wherever she wants.
God, it's like those soccer moms that drive minivans and then they start yelling when their kid gets yelled at by a referee.
She's very much like a soccer mom.
I hate it, but I love it.
And you just see this. Your mother towers over this small albino goblin, but he just kind of stares at her, and he does not seem to be flinching at all. I understand your vexation now, but my master had tasked me with this message. He looks over to Oberina. I will relay whatever message you wish. It was mostly to confirm that you and your looks over to Binge, to Mavis, to Arizel, Coterie are still functioning and all limbs intact.
Hmm. For the most part, yes. Outside of maybe a few ribs. Oh, sorry. That was one of the ribs.
He actually cricks his eyebrow a little bit.
Either way, I should be in attendance as well as the others, though they seem to be off in a bit of a daze. So
Yes, that is most disconcerting if I was able to walk up on everyone, and everyone seems to be sleepwalking.
either way, yes, let your lord know that we will be in attendance. And all things considered, I would need someone of, how do I put this, emotional value rather than actual food if you wish to give anything for myself to eat.
Yes, considering Lady Mariam, if what she has said is true, I will inform him to find a that Lady Mariam and some of her court will be visiting, and that no one of the group has been eaten in any way.
And if anything, the only one that would probably be even getting nipped at is probably Syndra's second mate, but all things considered, that would be in poor taste to the lord of the house, no?
Very much so.
Then all things considered, it should be fine.
He gives a slight bow to you all, and he goes, very well. I shall take my leave, Lady Mariam. And looks to you, Oberina. Lady.
Oborina.
I was gonna roll this for him. Put this on public. Lady Oberina. Very well. And he takes 3 steps backwards, and then as he walks to a wall, he vanishes. Or rather, from the looks of it, he went right through the wall.
Are all spy masters that peculiar?
No, he's one of a kind. He has a mental fortitude of a very tight knot.
I
I will not suggest you trying to sip from him.
I actually think that he may be, how do we put it? Two halves of a whole?
Repeat that one more time for me.
Two halves of a whole. Or a half of a whole, sorry.
I am not sure. Do not let his small size fool you, though. Delios tried to bully him or try to muscle him, and, well, it was very interesting to see Dalios on the ground in a arm lock.
Oh god, a rogue with strength. That scares me. But to get back to it, I there was one or not ironically, but also named Verpal where we were from that served as just a kitchen maid, more or less.
Hmm.
Which makes me wonder if, well, you heard some ideas of splitting one's essence in half to make for better emotional detachment.
I've heard of the practice, but there is a flaw to it is that the detachment doesn't last for very long. Eventually, the whole entity must reabsorb the detachment in order to regain stability. It is like emptying a. It is like creating a statue and then taking the statue apart and expecting it to still stand on the hinges of the frame.
Well, if you give it a different keystone, then you can keep them far apart as long as you want. The problem is just applying it energy to do so.
Well, I can say for certainty that Varpal is whole.
Hmm. Good to
Peculiar,
know.
but he is whole.
Either way, I also probably need to get at least a little bit more dressed up if we're going to a party for a noble, considering I haven't been near one in a while, and I'd rather not, but...
Oh, as soon as you say that about getting dressed, she has the.
Oh
She
no.
immediately opens with the eyes of like, oh yes. I mean, Ludwig is a bit of a drawl. He is a military man, but his wife and daughter do have their own sense of fashion, even if they are somewhat militaristic. Oh, so many beautiful dragons and scaly creatures that they have. Quite a menagerie.
Why would they have
Yes.
dragons? I'm confused on that notion.
Ludwig is not what he appears. Do not let his human guise charm you.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not all that interested either way.
Well, he is not the type to forgo his wife when apparently it seems like when the rumors were true that his wife was missing, he was how's the word saying raising hell and demons and the like. Well, he quite literally was chasing every single possible lead and destroying just about anyone that got in the way.
Hmm.
But that doesn't matter. Come, come, come. I'm going to show you all these fine dresses. Perhaps something scales? No, that would be too cliched to fit in Ludwig's clay.
If anything, I would
Some
just, as she kind of like looks
frills?
at her. Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Frills?
Oh
No, frills
no.
don't not work for you. No.
Do you have a
Leather? Perhaps no. A one piece too? Hmm.
mother? Can I speak for 5 seconds, please? Do you
Um.
have anything akin to like a conductor's uniform or something just simple? I don't need anything complex.
There's all the sirens going. Possibly. Possibly. Allow me to. Yes. Let me see. Hmm. One of you should be able to figure it out for me. As she kind of
You,
walks over. Walter!
oh dear God.
And I think I put Walter somewhere around here.
Why do I feel like she's the kind of person to go, Walter?
This is my daughter. You treat her right.
Yes, because it was.
Come on, you're both vampires. It's called goth bondage chic. Come on.
Not well. We're space vampires, so we don't adhere to the tropes of normal vampires. How dare we? If you haven't noticed, this has been like the most anti-vampire trope ever.
That's a regular vampire.
That no, that is that guy's
That guy's a
he's
regular
just
vampire.
chilling. He's just out here chilling. He's just like,
Actually, I should.
fuck these space vampires. They're just stepping
Showed
on
up to
all
the
over
wrong
it."
meeting, had to stay or would die.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ah, yes, I should probably introduce you to everyone. So, all of you gather. As she immediately claps,
Oh dear
and
God.
you could probably hear some collective groans.
Yeah, I can imagine no one in this house likes, especially for the way Ludwig described with all the mood swings. God, that must suck for them.
Oh, it does. I will tell you that right now. It sucks for them all.
Well, at least she technically said she's leaving, so it'll just destroy a power balance in most of RussiaCon.
Oh yeah. So trust me, I on the table, I try to find astral vampires or something that looks akin to it.
You're better off looking at like Fey vampires. That'll probably get you a lot closer.
Maybe, but these are just the temporary faces that I could find at the moment.
Yeah,
So
like
anyway,
I that's where I kind of like I've looked for Oberina and stuff. Like you're a lot better looking at like Fey vampires or like even something like Baba and Sits and stuff.
yeah. So these are just the temporary looks for now. I'll probably update them later in the future once I do a proper look for them. Anyway, so she goes like, "All right, this one is." So these are my staff. They have been working for me for the past uh 2-3 centuries. They are supposed to be your nannies and watch over you, but your father kind of ruined that sort of plans. Anyway, this is Walter. He is mostly my butler. This is Carlos. He is working as a musician and also a duelist. He is decent in the way of the rapier, but sometimes he tends to flourish too much. This is Andre. He tends to work for well, securing feeding places, or at least those that we have to hunt down at times.
Seems like a man that enjoys the twilight.
As
Sorry.
as you say that, the he looks at you as like, there
Bella.
is a world.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
So, I made the same joke too. So
I know. I knew the joke. That's why I was about to
I saw
add
the
to it.
I saw the pause and I knew my chance.
Mother.
Oh, 2023, I didn't change.
That's
neither have
fine.
I.
Same here. But the only reaction is there is a now dead world that had a book series that call it that. Horrible writing.
God damn it.
And it says, yes, yes, it was a very temporary. It was such a strifeful, full of world that was on a plague and all that stuff. I remember that. Anyway, this is Annabelle. She'll be the one to dress you. Do not worry about the Annabelle. You do know that we do not need to drink blood, right? And she kind of quickly gets a napkin and wipes her mouth. It's just wine. Yes, but you're drinking in such a debauchery sort of way. Mm. And then there's also, then she points to the final female vampire of the group, or the Quinto. And this is Lady Yoli. She is, well, she's supposed to be the head maid, but again, I tend to do things myself. Don't worry about them too much, but if you need any assistance, these five will help you. And if not, there's also the knights, which are all loyal to me, and they shall be also loyal to you because you are my daughter. Right, so Annabelle, Yoli, please be sure to give my daughter the exquisite best clothes possible. And don't take anything from Nicholas. I do not care. Him and his mercantile crap can go burn in whatever nine hells that he crawled out of. Or even Gehenna.
Nicholas, that is the annoying backward catman, no?
Yes, he is a Rashaska, I think they call it. Or is it Rasuska? It doesn't matter. He and his entire court of debauchery. Trust me, you dear. And she kind of like, again, pats you on your shoulders, kind of like trying not to give you a hug, but it's very touchy feely. Just stay away from his court. They're all full of fiends and other foul creatures that crawl from the very depths of the realms. They tend to steal people's souls and do all these horrible bargainings and cheap contracts, which unfortunately most mortal creatures don't even seem to know that a lot of those things are just two timers and stealers and silver
Um,
tongued lizards. I shouldn't have put an insult to Ludwig.
um, do you have a moment, Mother, alone before I get dressed? I have to tell you something.
Yes, you five. Go, go, go. Scram. Uh, uh yes. Yeah. Fine. Yes, Queen. God damn it, she's such a crazy bitch these days.
Go, Sam. So,
You just hear
remember,
all five of them grumbling.
remember how I told you about, or had asked about the Titan?
Yes. She kind of looks around.
I, are you sure this room is secured of any watchful eyes?
Yes and no.
So,
Yes, in the fact that we won't have to worry about dangerous entities from the far realms or the deep space or the void or entropy to look in on us if we accidentally say their names, since it's somewhat of a pocket held. As I said, our ship is not too far away, and it's not too close either.
that's not what I'm worried about. I
The
wanted.
no part to your question is that if someone powerful enough in this plane of existence wishes to look into us, knows a name, or wants to start a fight, they can quite literally come up to our front door and start hucking fireballs at us.
Yeah, that wasn't what I was worried about. What she's gonna do, because she's technically done this before in the face of the gods with binge and stuff, is she's gonna like kind of show off a bit of the end's power, but not enough to like coalesce it into something to kind of prove her point before. Kind of like bring forth its essence, like she did with the gods from I can't think of the name now. Binge's world.
Oh, okay. There's going to be a bit of a different roles here because of the manners way it is. So I will need. I'll give you the choice. It'll be either a Arcana or religion check.
Well, they're both the same, so it doesn't matter. Let's go
And
with
then,
Arcana.
yeah, and then I will need a D100.
Well, it's better than nothing, I guess. All right, let's roll that one. It's not a one.
Unfortunately, as you attempt to do this, you feel like something is resisting. And I'm just gonna roll this for her because again, she is watching you like a literal mother hawk.
No, this is one of the few times I actually do have performance issues. Doing it in front of the hero.
So does she.
Wait, hold on, because I'll use my bardic inspiration and throw it. Hold on, let me read what it is. Since I could technically use it as a reaction now.
Okay.
Since we're
Yes,
going off
from
that.
the from the D from the one D and D. So
I just need to remember what it is. I think it's a D10. Some sort.
yes,
Okay.
you didn't do any crazy level ups.
There we go. 17.
Okay, so she paused to look at it, or at least of what you have done, and just give me a moment. I need to fix something here.
She's going to punt me into the earth, into the sun.
No, I just realized something. Let's see. No, I gotta do my own modding. That's why. All right, got rid of the little bot creature that decided to spam in my stream.
Damn. I'm sorry, Jeebus, that you had to be removed from the chat.
Not again.
But anyway, all right. So as you do this, and of course you mentioned the performance issues, you see your mother kind of crinkle her lips as like in a almost like a scowl. Uh, I see that I see that Oberon passed on his very crude jokes into you. Not quite the refinement that I. There is much that we need to catch up on. Right. So why are you making these strange, glowy, multicolor sparkles as you realize that you've made 6 individual different color spheres, but they're small little flickering flames?
So normally, I wanted to show you before I had met other gods while adventuring with the party from Palatinus that had mentored a wizard by the name of Edward Matthias who possessed a similar power to the end. And they had also likened the power to something I had when showing them, and I was trying to call forth the same power to show you that I was indeed, at least somewhat, touched by the end, though I do think it is self-inflicted.
Hmm. I see. I see. I think the reason why is because due to the proximity of where you are at right now and to our ship, it is likely because it is a closed environment, one that isolates one away from the rest of the outside world or cosmos.
See. Well, either way, part of me worries that I have this lineage, but it is what it is. Either way, we should probably get ready for the dinner tonight. There's much to
Indeed.
do anyway.
And let's see. Right, let's go to me get Annabelle and Yolene. You two, hurry up now. You're to provide the absolute best service for my daughter. Whatever she requires, you will deliver. I suppose I should go ask for an invitation to Ludwig. Oh, he's gonna be such a smug bastard. I should also congratulate him on his reuniting with his wife, and ooh, maybe we can actually have a double celebration. As she suddenly thinks about it, I've been reunited with my daughter, and he's been reunited with his wife. Yes, that actually would work. All right, you two, please take care of my daughter, and whatever she says, you will do. You understand? Good. And then she gives you like a quick like. So here's the question: how does Oberina feel with her mother trying to give her a kiss on the cheek?
Give me a minute, because I have to think about this. It'd probably be like very awkward, like that kind of like, where you have that mom that's like overly bearing and it's kind of like, Mom, stop kind of thing. Kind of like
Okay.
that.
All right, because in that case, you're gonna have to do a contested strength thing because she's going.
Yeah. Am I even worth rolling, or am I just gonna lose more ribs?
You can certainly try.
Goes too
She might
fast
roll
and
low.
breaks your jaw.
Dude, she rolled a 5. I rolled a 9. Like, no. There was no fucking way. Unless she rolled a nat 1.
And everyone, ta-ta, as she makes her way out. The doors open wide, and she takes her leave.
Ugh. She's just kind of like rolling her eyes a little bit. I do apologize if my mother seems to be overbearing. I'm just looking for something a little bit more coattails on the back end of this, kind of holds out her uniform. Something more conductor adjacent, but a lot more, what should I say, noble-esque. Perhaps maybe even the cloak to go with.
Annabelle, the one that she is the one that speaks first. Right. Something practical, and worry not, we've been in the service of your esteemed mother for centuries.
I apologize for the centuries you had to suffer.
Yolene is the one that replies next. Oh, it was no suffering at all, except for the few times she does have her emotional mood swings, which this is actually one of the better ones.
There's a worse one?
Yes. Should we really
That
tell her, Annabelle? I was thinking she should see it first, though. But then, if something bad happens, her friends might end up getting killed too, though.
fucking what?
That would be
Excuse
bad.
me?
Oh, you see, dear, your mother has the queen of the astral night vampires, the astral empire. She is possessive of immense amount of power. I think the only one who's ever been able to quite literally put your mother down and give her a time out is, well, her older sister, Akra, and our grand matriarch, well, retired now, your grandmother. She, at times when she gets very emotionally angry, she lets loose a very powerful, potent scream that most mortal creatures and lesser beings tend to have their heads explode.
Wait. Master, did you just give her the fucking Banshee Whale spell?
No.
I was gonna say, that sounds like what it was at first. I was like, holy shit, she just murks people. I'm assuming it's a little bit better than that, where it just doesn't instant kill things.
It is not insta kill, it just hurts.
I imagine.
That's why they're like, mm.
Yes, I'd rather not experience that, though. Thankfully, with enough music, sound can drown out sound. So I'll make sure to keep my ears plugged.
Oh, honey. As Yolene actually comes close and pats you on the shoulder, almost like a condolence. It doesn't matter if you're deep within 550 feet of concrete or material. If your mother wishes to destroy the minds of her opponents with her particular scream, there's no stopping her.
Yay. And she's saying and she's like looking. I'll keep that in mind then.
Yes, I think the only one who gives her pause in this wretched city might be Ludwig, but I don't know. Would you really want to see them fight, Annabelle? No, I don't know. Ludwig seems nice, if not somewhat of a savage.
I think I'd rather
Mm.
not see a city leveled either.
Yes, if anything, we should just probably clean out all those vermin. Like, oh, that's right, Annabelle. Would you mind preparing some of those? There should be some cultists left, right, in the dungeons. But weren't they supposed to be provisions for the trip? I'm sure we can at least like. Looks over to you. You say you were feeling peckish, yes?
A tad, yes.
Great. So, Annabelle, please prepare one of the prisoners, and I will help you with your dressing. Oh no, I wanted to do it. Annabelle, I have seniority here. Fine. What's your preference? As she looks at you, Obrina.
Sorry, I was tearing for a second. I was munching on something. Reference?
Yes, the psychic energy that you must feed off. That is what we do.
Oh, I don't feed off psychic energy. I feed off emotions. Negatives, usually.
That is part of the feeding process, dear. Emotion, psychic energy, it's basically more or less the same, just a different flavor.
Well, either way. As of late, I can do positive or negative as long as it's in the emotion. It just has to be highly concentrated of either or.
Oh, she likes fine wine. But we haven't found any of them to be properly distilled yet.
Oh
I
dear
think we can
God.
squeeze. I think we can squeeze one of them dry a little bit. Very well. As she steps her way. Right, let us take you to. We have some. This is mostly the ballroom here, or main entry room. Let us find you a place to settle down, and we can start working with the makeup and clothes. And she'll just wrap her arm around yours and basically take you all the way over here.
Dear God. The
Yes,
first
don't worry
time
about. Do not worry
Okay.
about that dragon's head there. It was quite rude. It tried to demand something of your mother, and she got angry, and that was one of the few times that she tore a dragon apart because the dragon invaded and demanded the ship.
An astral dragon?
Yes, but it was just a child. I was quite surprised of how arrogant some of those things were. But yes, yes,
Do you have any of its scales by chance? I'm assuming probably not.
it was quite a few centuries ago, dear. That
That's
head is
what
the
I
only thing.
figured.
That head is the only thing that's been taxidermied, and only because your mother was quite angry with it.
Hmm.
Thankfully, we managed to remove all the darts that she was throwing at it.
But she was throwing I
You take
okay.
you take a good look at it, and yes, there are various darts or like little holes.
Like how big when we say little hole is an actual hole relative to the size of the dragon?
It isn't each of the holes are an inch wide.
Jesus. And how many are there?
A lot. Most of the hits landed in the forehead and the eyes.
Dear God. This woman scares me and she's my mom.
Right. Well, Anyway, let's prepare your clothing. Annabelle should be here with your food soon, or at least your snack.
God, it's been a while since I've had to get dressed up for fancy parties anyway.
Oh, then
Say,
you are going to enjoy this.
let's just say I never got enjoyment out of entertaining nobles. Used to do shows for them every now and then. Weren't all that great. Oh God.
Okay, so it is about a good 10 minutes before Annabelle returns, and you go through various clothing, which now I'll leave it up to you whether you have found what you are looking for. Though,
Uh, Probably after a good minute. I'm assuming they can just do literally a conductor's cut with a little bit more frills and probably like a kind of overcoat over it.
oh
I'm assuming
yes,
it's not it's like very simple, so I'm assuming it wouldn't be that hard.
it is not. I couldn't quite find the proper, or rather, additional parts of the map, but there is a really large walk-in closet, which once you step in, you almost thought that they put you into a bedroom.
Yeah.
But that's how deep the closet is, and it is filled wall to wall with various types of clothing and dresses, articles of fancy attire, which you can tell a lot of these are from different worlds.
There's no expense, I see.
Well, your mother, she is a queen, and many do are charmed by her. Although, considering you are her first and only born, she never really took any suitors after that debacle with Oberon.
I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to either. Considering.
Yes, you'd be surprised that she spared literally not only no expenses, but no amounts of effort looking for you. Which is quite interesting. You look like her, but yet not as much. And yet you do have a similar feel.
Don't know if I should take offense to that or not, but either way.
Do not take offense. And I mean no offense. True, your mother is tiring at times, but she is a good queen. And as you are hearing this, you hear Annabelle return, and right over the flame, a large flame umbrella, she hucks this particular individual right over it to make him scream in pain. I got you a fresh one.
Huh.
He is in most distress, considering that Andre has been teaching him the failures of his tentacle god.
Could you just do that one more time? I clicked off too fast. Sorry.
Sure.
God, I hate that.
I don't know why, but okay.
Like hate in a God, I want that guy to burn kind of way.
Uh,
Not nothing personal or anything. But
okay, I was curious. And he is just screaming in some sort of gibberish.
is he gagged and or new?
He is not gagged. You can actually hear all of his profanities, screamings.
Okay.
All of
He
you are going to be devoured by his golden king,
he has
his
a mask
golden
on,
radiance.
or no? Did they take the mask off?
Oh, they ripped the mask off. It's just
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, then she'll feast, but I want to do something, Miser. She wants to pull any energy or any kind of memories tied to any thing with the Cult of the Stars? Because assuming that's probably going to be the biggest emotional pull anyway, especially, I would like to try to pull in and see if I can ascertain anything from that.
Roll me an intelligence check.
That's not going to be great.
Yeah.
9.
All right, now roll me a D100.
20. Thought that was a 2 and almost got excited.
Yeah, so was I. So you attempt to, as you start to feed, or at least begin to draw his energy, it's strange. Not only is he resisting, but the energy you pull from him, it feels like a very weighted meal. Almost like if we're gonna go on table, drinking literally the whole bottle of cough syrup.
Ugh. Oh, so she's just taking triple C and then gonna die. I understand.
Yes. And it's kind of
That.
like that. It's like a thick syrup.
Ugh. No, I
And
understand why I don't feed that much on these people.
yes, and the memories you do pick up is not much,
Mm-hmm.
but you do get a quick image of not just your mother, but most of these other individuals and most of their knights literally fell upon one of their casting rituals, gagged them, wrapped them up, literally like gift packaging, and brought them to a place, or rather, you can see from the brief moments that they went deep into here.
Hmm. Well, at least I know they still feel sorrow even in all of that.
Oh, yes, as Annabelle is just joyfully turning him over like he's like a spit roast. You see, these individuals, they sacrifice others for their own dark gains and their tentacle golden god of, I don't even know what the heck he really is, but the fact that they become an infestation to reality and turn reality in on itself, well, I think we're doing the universe a service, don't you think?
In a way, yes, but not. We're not meant to be interstellar trash keepers, are we?
Hmm, that's an inelegant way to put it, but I suppose I want to think that we were crusaders culling a rampant disease. As she leans a little bit close, and with your passive perception, you see that she's also drawing in some of his energy. And I'm gonna roll this for this guy, but I'm just gonna do a d20 at disadvantage because they had already been feeding on him a bit. Well, he goes limp. Annabelle looks over to Yolene and then to you. I think I broke him.
I think it's fine for the time being. He also may be dead, so.
Right, and you are looking stunning. So I'll just take this sack of meat and maybe see if see if one of our pets would want a chew toy.
Pets?
She walks over, going up the stairs. There just hauls the guy and just tosses him over her shoulder like a literally a potato sack.
Shouldn't I be worried exactly what the pets are?
No. I mean, you are traveling with us, then I suppose yes, they are useful. Now, let's get your hair done. You must be the eye of the event, I believe. Even though it's supposed to be in celebration for Lord Ludwig's wife's return, I believe our queen having her daughter return to her or coming back to her in our life is just as important.
Didn't wish to make too much of a shock, considering this is rather him celebrating that, but fuck it, why not?
Excellent. I was gonna roll this for her. Is it an advantage because she has been doing this for your mother as well? Wow, you're lucky it was an advantage too. So she is stylizing your hair, and you can stylize your hair however you want. But as that is happening, let us zoom back to our party in the other manner. So, Tiernan, you're presenting or passing something to Kermit.
Oh, Kermit, you've visibly changed ever since you got that sword.
Yes.
Now, how much do you feel that you wish to serve Lady of Tyranny?
Well, I believe I owe her my life at this point.
Good, you're halfway there. Now, serving the Lady of Tyranny will take more than just your mortal life. I'm not sure if your lover will try to take over. While you're on this plane, if you're going to be serving the lady, or at least look the part. Do you remember about a month back when you asked me how you could serve her better?
I do.
And recently you've been calling yourself a paladin.
Yes, that is what she's been referring to me as.
From my understanding and what I have seen in my experiences, paladins always wear a certain type of uniform. And he will reach his hand down into the bag and take out a pair of boots and put them in front of you. He'll take out a couple of bracers and put them in front of you.
Oh.
He will then take out a full face helm and place that in front of you, and then a cuirass, which would be your chest plate, and put that on the table as well. Noticeably, the cuirass has a inlaid piece that seems to be missing. Well, if we're going to be going to a feast in a noble's home, you should look the part.
Tiernan, I don't know what to say.
Oh, and he will take out a silver necklace with a symbol of 5 different colored claws, all made of gemstone. This will sit here. And if she agrees, stay on the armor forever.
What do you say, mistress? Am I ready to wear the armor?
Roll D100.
Yep.
You're more than ready. Place the mark of the talon onto the chest piece and hold the sword over it.
Okay, I do that.
So, for those that are wondering, this emblem begins to affixate itself And all three of you feel it because of the dragon blood in your veins, even if you're not chromatics, or rather true chromatics or true gems in one way or the other spectrum. In fact, Syndra, you do sense Bozamar from a far distance. Like, oh my god, a true champion of Tiamat has arrived! You probably mentally hear him shitting himself. But,
Well, it's just one thing. And Kermit takes Burl's skull off and just fixes it onto the helmet.
the helmet
as
is...
you attempt that, you see that there has been a slot carved into the helmet that would perfectly fit Barrel's skull.
Yep.
It's
And
perfect.
it seems that
Took measurements while you were sleeping.
the primal parts begin to react as they are nothing more now but remnants, defeated foes, and now a will stronger than theirs. A goddess takes command, and they begin to mesh and work well together. There's your primal infusion armor.
What do I
Or-
owe you?
Kermit, this entire adventure, I have been the only one on the front lines. You joined, you aided me in not getting stabbed as much. My way of thanking you.
And I didn't lie about Anna.
Not.
I reach out my hand for a warrior handshake.
Absolutely will take it.
I even do the little dragon thing where we press our heads together.
Yes, with the handshake, Tiernan just uses his electricity to burn his handprint into the his right forearm of the armor.
Okay. Also, Syndra, you roll perception at advantage. You guys, Tyranny and Kermit Mage, just roll me a flat perception.
Seven.
19.
So, Syndra, you feel a presence in this room, and you slowly turn your head to the right, to the left, right across from Tyranny and Kermit. Warble just quietly standing, watching, though he does have on his side all the items that you have requested.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ah, yes, I did not want to intrude. As he places it onto the table right here. Then resumes here. Your friends are safe. I had visit Lady Mariam personally. She is having a adjustment in attitude for receiving her daughter. She is most happy to the point of nauseation.
Well, that's good to hear. About my presence. Not that. That sounds terrible.
Yes, you will all find out soon enough, since she is going to make herself present to my lord for an invitation to the feast.
Oh. Yeah, do you think I kept that dress with me?
If you require clothing, and he gestures upward, there are various private rooms, each one having a decent selection of clothing. You may wish to dress up, but he looks over to Kermit and gives a nodding approval. My lord and lady are more towards practical. The feast shall be ready within a few hours. It is a small, moderate one, nothing too grandeur. But Master Ludwig and Lady Fia wish to give their gratitude to the fading hearts and extend the hand of friendship.
Are you able to answer questions for us? Potentially.
If it is within my abilities, and if I am interested in answering personal questions.
This is an interesting one. And again, I know, and I will be no offense in any terms when I ask these. With seeing the security, as well as yourself, I am curious as to the circumstances in which Lady Fia was taken.
I'm gonna roll this for Varpal.
I'm going to find a mirror.
There's one above the dinner table.
Yep.
The chandelier was a mirror all along.
And
One
I'll
of those
put this in
fine
public.
dining room mirrors that's meant to make the dining room look bigger.
It's like just a trick house fucking party.
He seems to remain still unflappable, but there is a slight tone in his voice. Yes. Magics were involved. We had spoken, or rather, Lord Ludwig and I had a conversation with majority of Madame Edia and her club. Although she is and always will be loyal to Lady Fia, Madame Adia is still attached to her wayward sibling.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it would take a particular poison to knock out one such as Lady Fia, or rather, what their kin are.
Yes.
A traitor, which was dealt with.
Hmm.
Sadly, there is still suspect that there are more, and possibly doppelgangers.
That would explain something. Hmm.
Yes, imagine the fury Lord Ludwig felt when a doppelganger dared to dance in the form of his mate.
Oh, that's brazen. Which I guess would bring up the question if they've seen more of these around as she pulls out Marion's corpse. Not Marion, what is it, Marion? Marlins?
Marion.
Yeah.
Marion, the intellect devourer. And you'll see Varpal actually look at that jar, and his head twists a little bit to really look at it. And it's very uncanny because it seems like it's robotic, but it's definitely analytical. And the eyes are sharp too. Interesting. I have not seen their ilk in many summers. And who is this, or what it was?
Well, it had a name, Marlin. It was one of the underlings. The one known as Eric. The one with that shot the two heads out there of that keeps coming back. The eye
Yes.
patch, that whole yeah.
One of them I had broken his neck. It galls me to know that something is still alive despite my effort and Lord Ludwig's effort.
Well, maybe he shows back up. As long as he's alive when he's brought to me, I think we have a way to fix that.
I shall do my utmost to bring Eric alive. But I will not promise he'll be whole.
Oh, don't worry about that. That doesn't matter. Feel free to leave him on the brink of death. I don't really care. Granted, my first mate probably would like to do a considerable amount of things to him, so yeah, that's a thing.
Everyone roll me either intelligence or history. Just normal.
So, 13.
Jernan?
Sorry, one second. What am I doing? Harley just got home.
Oh,
Intelligence or history?
Got it.
yeah.
That's a 7. Good, because Tyrion probably wasn't paying attention either.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, Syndra, you notice this whole entire conversation you're having with Varpol, he has not blinked once.
He's not a goblin, is he?
As far as you know.
He's a fucking ghost.
I would,
Hermit, so you are...
sorry, I do have something to ask him if he was about to take off.
Oh, no, he's not. Not yet. He's actually very... As soon as he locked eyes on the Intellect Devourer jar, he has not taken his attention off of it at all. He is just... It is a very cold, analytical stare.
This motherfucker doing math.
Now, going with your insight for going for the first rolls, Syndra, his actions has been contradictory, or rather, when you think of goblins, he is definitely shown goblin traits, but at the same time, he's shown very ungoblin like traits, especially this incredibly calm, focused mindset. And as for Kermit, as you are testing your new divine powers, let me just take a look. Okay, you know the location of a celestial fiend or undead. All right, well, you unleash that ping, and how far does this go? Oh, within
60.
60 feet.
Very
Okay.
far. I
Alright.
think it's. Is it
Board,
can,
but Scaly's
Six.
there, so he's definitely feeling that one.
It's
What the fuck
it's
is
60
Skelly?
feet. That's not blocked by
Behind cover. Yeah.
yeah, like any cover. It's kind of bad actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. What was that?
Just Skelly. Forgot to have
Skelly.
him the whole
There we
time.
go.
He's
Kelly
there.
just showed up.
You're in armor.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Unfortunately,
asked.
the only thing you feel is Syndra's animated skeletons. You don't feel any pings coming from Varpel.
Guys, I think I just did something.
Did he fart? Like, what is Kermit's divine sense?
Yeah, does it make like a noise or like a visual effect?
Is it like? Is
on
it
you?
just his throat expanding?
I don't know.
It's more of a slight pulse.
Ever since I put on this armor, I have this weird energy flowing through me.
Yeah, that usually happens around puberty.
Varpel slowly turns and looks at Kermit's direction now. Interesting.
Interesting what?
I had thought you were of the type to scream and charge forward.
I am.
We both are.
They do it a lot.
I am in more the ones that had given in to their rage to overpower their foes.
I do that regularly. What do you mean?
Yeah, it
Kermit,
still sounds like both of them.
we're going to
I
test
sense-
something, and don't feel bad. What happens? The previous paladin that I held under my control could do a certain thing with his powers. Try to poke me in the shoulder, but also add the Lady of Tyranny's power into it. See if you can harness it now. Pretty much asking him to punch me and smite me.
All right.
Oh, you felt that.
So how would Kermit's smite manifest itself? Is now how I'm gonna ask that question.
I'm leaving that up to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Somebody give me a good flavor text.
So I would think like
dragon.
you got like even just with one finger a dragon's claw reached out
hell
from
yeah,
your
yeah,
hand and
Yeah,
just grabbed onto my shoulder.
yeah, that's a good one. And all of my fingers have a different talent on it.
Yeah. So it's just like poof. Ah, well. Leave, my friend. You can now harness the lady's power, and let me say, that didn't feel great.
Wait a second. Come here for a second.
I'm here. What? Ah, what? As he like stops holding his shoulder, it's like, what the fuck?
What I imagine is like
When
all
Syndra
those-
heals me, it's painful, like I'm being stitched up. That just felt like it just went away.
That's the difference between divine and arcane healing. I'm literally forcing your body back together.
Mistress, what is happening to me?
You hear in your head and Tyrion as well because you were in close proximity and Kermit is touching you.
Yeah.
It is simply the path of my paladin, my champion. Don't overthink it. It is a new path, a new life that you will dedicate to my will.
So with his hand still on my shoulder, I'll kind of just pat it. Now, my friend, I'm going to teach you about how to tactically fight instead of throwing your forehead at everything. Probably after the feast, though. Verpul. Vorpal? Verpul? Which one is he?
You all, well, actually, Syndra, you see for a brief moment his nose kind of twitches at the mix of the names, and he just says very calmly, Varpel.
Oh, I was off. He will. You guys will hear the clicks as he takes off his armor. Do you have someone who can clean this up for the feast?
He calmly turns a little bit, pulls out a small haversack, and begins pulling out what looks to be a full-on cleaning kit and places it on the table.
Doing the best I
Along
could to keep it clean, but right under the bone plates here, and he'll be pointing out where the claws meet in the center. Hard with the tools that I have.
There is a blacksmith. He
And,
is loyal to Lord Ludwig.
Let him know if he accidentally activates the power to get in a 10-foot radius of it, and I can come claim it. It does have
I'm
a
sure he
shocking
handle it.
quality.
I also have a question.
Yes.
Does Rashkon have an arena?
One moment. I need to roll this for him now because you said a magic word for him.
Oh shit! Now he's gonna stab you.
So all of you see this for the first time. This emotionless goblinoid kind of crack a very uncanny, eerie smile. There is, or was.
Is it no longer functional?
Due to the vermin lurking about, there is plenty of, how the saying goes, body on blood entertainment on the streets, usually at night.
And I believe you and I will get plenty of chances to test our mettle.
Yes. I believe we should go hunting after the feast. Test out these new gifts.
Very well. Also, Miss Baron Gallos,
Yes.
the items you have requested are all here.
Thank you.
I shall inform my agents to watch out for these things. Thankfully, we do have countermeasures. As again, he resumes this disturbing focus stare on the intellect devourer in the jar. And once again, you all realize it. His eyes are not blinking, they're just focused.
So, Miser, I know I'm supposed to prep these spells, but how does it work now that I'm a newly formed paladin? Will I still have to wait for the long rest?
For this time around, I'll let you have them right away.
Okay. And it's 14, right?
7.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, plus the ones that I already have. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Quite sometimes as I fought one that is really devoted to the journey.
I think dropping Doc was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Not avenging the entire murder of your people.
That's true, but things have changed.
I believe that was more of a cultural victory than a personal one.
Agreed.
Don't tell that to your lover, though. Get quite.
Afterwards, for another moment of silence, Varpal takes his eyes away from the jar, looks at all of you. Right. The feast will be ready soon. If you need me to handle anything, please let me know. Or one of my runners.
Thank you, Father.
With that, he takes 3 steps backwards. Then he makes his turn, and once again, as if he's just walking straight to a wall, he just goes right through it.
Look at Syndra. Is that how she keeps snake?
I'm not even entirely sure they're related.
Names are identical.
Yes. But there's unsettling and there's unsettling. And Verpal, back in Emerald Star, is definitely a goblin. Varvel? That's something entirely different. Don't get me wrong, I've been stared at by a goblin that thought, I was some kind of prey before. Totally different level of savage.
They're definitely
creature.
predator's eyes.
Yes, that's a different level. But
Everything
we're
in
not
this
focused on
castle's had predator eyes, though.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they treat their drakes, the correct type of predator.
Right now, our enemy's match. That's what's important to me. That being said, I need to go cast a spell. I'm missing a friend, and, well, I'm not going to change in front of both of you.
Do what you need.
If you'd like, I could clean that armor for you instead, but that's a different problem.
Even
Do you
prestidigitation
want-
did not get this little stain out right here, and he's just like, you see, he's got like a toothbrush, and he's trying to fucking get like just it was probably decoloration of the bone.
Janin, that's a birth defect.
No, I've been working on this for weeks.
Kieran, I have a question.
Yes.
Will you lay that gem pile down so I can rest on it for a moment?
Fuck off, it's mine. I mean,
And there's
what
all
if
our
we-
money.
What if we rest together?
fuck off.
What if
We
we
will
kiss
split-
on the gem pile?
I've been waiting for that question.
I
Well,
just feel so overwhelmingly condemned to jump on top of that pile.
I thought you were gonna go a different angle with that entirely.
So, what Tiernan will do for you, be ready to write this down.
Okay.
He'll give you 100 of the 50 GP rubies.
Okay, just one sec. Bio. Okay. 100.
Yeah,
rubies,
I'm pretty much just giving you 100 each.
100 sapphire, and 100 what? Oh, you're typing it. All right.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
No, it's
And to give you a little capstone, he will give you 500 diamond.
oh hell yeah.
Now, this will be the start of your hoard. Take care of it, my friend. You're going to have to count it each night.
I don't think I'll have a problem with that.
So the Lady of Tyranny will make.
Now the question is, what do we make of this? And I pull out the black diamond that Kerr gave to me.
Sure. To be honest, if we probably give be used. It.
Hmm.
Not
Yeah,
if
do you need something to dress up in? And she comes back out.
I was
I
going
feel-
to wear this, and he just gestures to the armor on the table that he's like, it's like covered in suds on this very nice table.
Cinder, in one hand, has a small blue sequin dress. Oh, okay.
I think I'd look fucking fantastic in that.
But it was worn by a kobold, so I don't know
Yes.
why I kept it.
Blade dancers used to wear a tunic such as that. Actually, yes.
And
I believe I will wear that.
I dropped the black diamond on the table. Sindra, would you mind taking a look at this? Kerr gave it to me before he ran off.
Is that a hunk of high condensed coal?
I have no idea. Something tells me that his mom wanted me to have it.
What do I need to roll, either?
You know what? As storyteller, I will give you for as we're ending the session, before we end the session, I'll let you come at it in a creative way. How would you want to identify this rock?
Probably the only way that I would.
Magically.
All right, so you roll the Arcana. It's definitely magical in nature. There's something odd about it.
Well, then I guess we'll identify.
Ping the spell for me.
Just a moment.
Okay. As you perform the identify spell on this strange black rock, I have a question, Sindra. How does it in what way does Sindra look into the items to identify them? How does she look at it?
The way she does it is she has a pearl that she pulls out that's been set into a loop. And she sets that in her eye and just casting the spell so that she has her hands free.
Okay. So, Syndra, as you do this, I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw. The DC is 15. So, as you look into this, you realize something's a bit off because now you're staring at yourself, or rather, you're staring downward from the room. And you're not holding the rock anymore.
So, am I looking at like a bird's eye view of the room, or
Yep.
and I see myself?
Oh, yes. Still looking at the rock.
Do I see that I have a body now, or not? Because I'm
You look,
floating.
you look at your own body and you are translucent.
Oh, great! I think I just mentioned the ethereal. Or astral.
What do you make of it?
Tyrannin, Kermit, Syndra is not moving.
Is she speaking?
The body isn't speaking in front of you.
Oh, not astral at all. It's a little
Kermit,
what's
she's not. She usually starts explaining what it is when she does that. Maybe you should take that
Wait.
from her.
I hate what you gave us, Visor. You're the
Okay.
worst fucking.
Kermit. Let me see. Okay, so unfortunately that is a lower level spell. So I need you to roll me.
Wait, is he casting command on Syndra?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, I said wake.
Oh,
And Syndra, you do hear this, except in your current position, as you see that your body is not responsive at all to it, your current condition is not affected either. And
Well,
Kermit, I do need you to roll me a charisma check.
well, he's a paladin now. He should have loads of that. I hope.
Eh.
Well, if he dies, he dies. We tried.
So, Kermit, as you do this, and all three of you do hear this, especially you, Syndra, as it's coming from your mouth, or rather, it's coming from your mouth, but Tyrannin and Kermit, you see the rock, or at least the hand holding the rock, tilt this way, and it just says, "I see you, Da."
Oh my god.
So she's literally it. Basically, it's his eye. Yep.
Kermit,
Oh my
Kermit, take it from
God.
her.
I grab it back.
As you do that, Syndra, you are suddenly back in your body.
did I realize he could cast command on me?
Yes.
I think I did that thing again.
Uh-oh.
You're about to get stabbed.
You watched Syndra as like Tyrannin, you've seen her get pissed.
I've seen her get
Her
almost mind
skin
control
ripples.
before.
You've seen her like skin ripple maybe once, and now you watch as like her arms ripple as scales rip through it, and her hands are clawed as she pulls her sword on Kermit, and you ever cast something like that on me again, Frog, and I don't give a fuck whose god is your bitch or mommy or whatever. I will kill you, and I will devour your soul.
I don't even know what I did.
Kermit, you try to control her self-awareness. That's not a good thing with that one. Oh, any of your
Just trying to
friends?
tell her to wake up.
Yeah, that does.
She's like hyperventilating,
Yeah,
level
no.
pissed. Like there is like smoke coming out of her mouth.
He will reach up and does his best to put a hand on your shoulder, but probably like gets to waist. Sindra, follow the dragon. He didn't know what he was doing.
You may need to give me some lessons on this spell stuff.
You just watch as
That's
the scales
coming from me,
slowly
Sindra.
turn.
I've listened to you before.
Yeah. Yes, Tyrion. But very rarely do I not let you kill something that triggered your fucking problems.
Correct. On the rare occasion that you needed the individual alive, just left him. Now, it seems that I need to teach Kermit about tactics and fighting without taking every wound he can, and you need to teach Kermit how to use magic.
Is that what this feeling in my blood is?
Yes.
If you were a dwarf, I'd say it's probably sobriety, but
What else can I do?
Getting quite a lot.
that might be a conversation for you and her more than me and you.
Sindra, with your identify, you realize what is this rock?
Well, where's your son? Have fun with that.
What do you mean this is my son? This is my son?
Yes, apparently Kerr can turn into other things.
Well, I thought he was Mimic.
Kermit, you look at that rock. There's an eyeball on it looking back at you.
Well, after the feast, it looks like the three of us need to have a long conversation. Points to Sindra. You and I about being a real dragon. You and I with him about serving a dragon and newfound powers.
Sindra sheathes her sword, which you guys really have never really seen her draw,
No.
except for in very few situations. As she just kind of moves her shoulders, and you watch the scales fully recede back into her skin. There's still blood, pretty much everywhere.
You do hear a knock, and it is the female knight in armor. Is everything all right? Are you okay? She
I need
looks
some
over.
club soda. I think there's a little bit of blood on the floor.
Do you need healing?
No.
Understood. As she steps out.
By the way, I'm oddly compelled to tell you that your skeleton minion is in the corner over there.
He just kind of leans over and waves.
Hello.
Hey, bud. Hello.
Shut up.
With that, you also could everyone roll me a perception, and this also includes Oberina.
Oh dear God.
Hmm.
I could see it from the heavens.
Wrong one.
Wow. Holy shit.
Haha!
I
I rolled as good as the eyeballs.
Hey, I got a 24.
Roll this. Makes sense. So, all of you do hear this, or rather, it is from a distance. And let me get the voice thing here. Do. No. It was clear skies most of the day, and now you suddenly hear, and it's still clear skies, but a loud crack of thunder. And we're going to end the session for this evening.
Can I do one last thing, Miser?
Sure.
As Cinder does that, she goes to change, and she's going to cast Sending. Hello, Eric. I heard you got held down by a tiny little goblin before getting penetrated in all the most worst ways. But don't worry. We're going to enjoy the time we get to have here soon. Heard you're in Rashikon anyway. So are we. And that's it.
Roll me a d20. Okay. You get a message back. Yeah. We know you're there. Now come out and play. And we'll end the session here. Thank you everyone for this evening, our first D&D session for the year of 2023. I am Miser Mark. My YouTube and Twitch accounts, same name, Miser Mark. Find all the other stuff that I've done before with the other games and stuff to record, to stream, blah blah blah. And holy cow, this is gonna be a very long arc now. So you know what? I'll hand it over to tomorrow. Actually, you know what? Salad, I throw it over to you.
You know what? I'm Violated Salad. Usually, I have something to joke about, but this year, I'm actually going to be starting to make content. I don't know what yet, but something. So stay tuned, I guess, for something. You know what? I'll do one. You can find my content below where I review water fountains of various public libraries across the country.
I feel like I'd watch a show about that.
I would too.
I would
I was really
absolutely
curious what
watch.
Canadian
That would
water
be
tastes like.
that would be like the perfect like Facebook content. Like you know what I'm talking about? Like those like videos
This
with
water
just
tastes like
subtitles.
some aluminum's in here.
Right?
And,
Like, that sounds beautiful.
I'll pass it
I
to.
want, like, those elaborate documentary like videos.
The
It's like-
man every day walks to visit different water fountains. We still don't know why.
Then I just take one sip and turn to the camera and say, "It's pretty good," and the episode ends.
Don't elaborate.
It's water.
As you can see, this water fountain was mass produced out of concrete, but the little embellishments as they installed it that really makes it fit where it does.
And then it's just me taking a sip and saying, "Yep, pretty good."
Yeah, you just hire someone for a voiceover to over dramatize nothing.
I will give it to my new dragon tutor, Jeebus. I almost called him. I almost called him
Well,
Tyrion.
he technically is.
I will technically. I was Tyrion tonight. Tomorrow, we speaking of incredibly long arcs, we have just finished one. So about half the session will be a bit of wrap up for that. But I think the party, if everything goes well, will end up back in Gravencliff at the Silver Pint at least the end of next session.
Yay.
They have the fast track home because Regent's going home. I will throw it over to Mr. Moogle.
Hello. So, as most people know, we had CSR was canceled last week because I was dying for Christmas. Not really, but whatever flu I had, wow. Wasn't COVID bad, but it was bad. That being said, next week we'll be back to CSROs.
You
And
digitally transmitted it to me because now I'm sick. When we were talking about commissions, you passed me the virus.
You just slap him with it.
well, then clearly we need to fix our antiviruses on the.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a condom on my Ethernet cable.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Next.
Speaking
Alright.
Mariner.
Why freaking me? Anyway, hello. I am Trans Space Mariner. I play Oberina for now. I don't know what's gonna happen at the end of this arc. And all things considering, because I haven't thought about it, now that that got brought up, it would make sense for the character arc, and it's one of the characters I don't kill in my campaigns for once. But we'll kind of see as we go along. If I end up staying with the party or making a third character. At this...
Mm,
I'm sorry, Miser. I don't mean to do this to you.
it's fine. It's basically her character, but also to add just before because I forgot.
Yeah.
Into the Wildlands will be now bi-weekly starting this week.
Mhm.
So next week there will be no Into the Wildlands, mostly due to personal life stuff that I need to deal with, and it'll be the week after we will have our next session. So thank you everyone, and everyone have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Man.
Merry
New-
Happy
Christmas.
2023. Time to die.